Hi, I'm Chelsea Amira, and I was a part of the Yellow Group in the Friday 12 PM classes with the installation Adam and griEVE. So we were presented with Sustainable Development Goal 14, which was to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas and marine resources. So we immediately made a link to sustainability, and once we received our box of items, we made another link to Adam and Eve, so we kind of went in that direction. Our claymation depicted Adam and Eve in a contemporary style. Instead of having people, we had fish, and it was about today's world other than a very long time ago. So Maine defines sustainability as stewardship and resource management. So we took the approach that was in line with Weaver to explore how things are, why things are the way they are, and how things ought to be. So we want people to think, as Lewis mentions, to move away from small thinking to whole systems, so from very small to the whole world and how their actions impact the rest of the world. As Cheng describes, we want to make the tasks relevant and give students learning for the future, so they'll be able to deal with the challenges that sustainability will pose to them, such as climate change and that type of thing. My favourite part of this whole experience was working with the other pre-service teachers in a collaborative way. So we all came up with ideas, we all helped each other build upon those ideas, we took away the ones that were going to work for us or achieve the goal that we wanted to achieve. And yeah, it was just really good experience to make friends and all of that. So one of our goals when creating our installation was to make sure that it was inclusive, open and reflective, while also being able to change meaning depending on who was viewing it based on their beliefs and values and all that, which lines up with Zero. And a big influence for us was Dewey's work, where we wanted it to be a creative and innovative piece in order to prompt creative and innovative responses to sustainability and solutions that they could implement in the future. We wanted, because as Mzaroga and Rodare claim, that children are natural scientists who pose authentic questions, have no shortage of new ideas, and look at the world with open eyes. So we wanted there to be a transaction between the person viewing and the installation itself, and where they bring their prior knowledge and their beliefs and their values to it to make sense of it. Wagner claims that humans are social beings that thrive when they're able to talk about their perspectives to create a mutual engagement in their actions. So this was present when we allowed people to discuss their goals beforehand, so they were able to stand around and talk about what they might write upon their sticky notes and bounce ideas off each other. And we also went on social media, so we incorporated technology as it's a useful tool to accelerate social change, which is discussed by Hume, Coco and Green. So it's available to a wider audience, so more people can see it and interact. So Whiteland suggests that there should be interaction, linking and sharing with people to put in place strategies for future generations for sustainability. And we wanted everyone to take a constructivist approach, as mentioned before, about bringing their own values and thoughts into make their own meanings of it. This lines up with Piaget's theory where social interaction and cognition is cognition, and people use their prior knowledge to make sense of the environment and around them, which was mentioned by Hewitt and Hummel. Reflection can also help build upon this, like so you sit back and reflect on what you think you might be able to do, which was mentioned by Zero. So in regards to relevance for the future practice, I think that having students make their own promises would be really beneficial, so they can think about it in relation to their own lives and put it into perspective. They can also have an assembly each week where they have like a whole school approach to sustainability, setting goals and recording if they can meet those goals or not, such as like reducing energy or reducing gas use. And it's relevant as we live in a technological world, and this activity also caters to the multiple intelligences of visual, spatial, bodily, kinesthetic, musical, interpersonal, linguistic, and logical mathematical, which are Gardner's intelligences, where they can touch, they can feel, they can look, they can listen, because there was music playing as well. There are many benefits to installation arts. So art's important as it makes students practical and reflective and involves their personal experiences, and it's meaningful to their own context as well, so it brings it to their own lives so they can relate to it. It's engaging and brings people together. It's a regenerative process that keeps creating new meanings and definitions in their own minds. So it helps collaboration with peers and works in the school setting, it can work anywhere. It helps to engage with the space and the environment around it and make it rich and dynamic, which was discussed by Human, Coco and Green. Integrative arts approach gives a wider picture of learning as opposed to just a narrow view, and helps go wider than just words alone. Like, you can't hear a song by looking at the lyrics, you have to be able to listen to the actual music and the singing, because it's a multimodal and multimedia approach. So that's Eisner's ideas. So humans establish and connect with the environment using their sensory systems, which is what we tried to do with the whale sounds to make it more meaningful, like that this sustainable issue will affect the marine life. And under it all, art lies a basic pattern of relationships made between the living creature and the environment. So we wanted everyone who was in our space to make their deep connection with the environment around them and the installation itself. So there were many links that we could create to the curriculum. So our main idea was just to get it out there and create a installation that we were happy with and we thought was meaningful. But after looking at the curriculum, there are many areas that we can link it to. So the most obvious is science, with the ability to explore the changing world around them and to take into account all the ethical issues and social issues that come along with sustainability. Understanding the contemporary issues involved, discovering the dynamic relationship between nature and science and how events can be explained, so such as climate change. Earth and space, which is Earth changing over time as the result of human activity. So that's another thing about climate change and human impact. There's also links in the humanities areas where they need to be responsible and active citizens who can contribute to the development of the world and its environment, and just to create wonder about the world around it and the respect for the environments around the world. The ethical capability mentions analysing and evaluating ethical issues, which is our treatment of the animals and the world around us, and engaging with the challenges of managing ethical decisions and making these actions for individuals and groups, so how their decisions might have an effect on the rest of the world. And it's also got lots of creative and critical thinking, so being open-minded and reasonable, building self-awareness of your actions and the capacity for reflection on how you're contributing or helping stop these issues. And it's also for to be able to break the ineffective habits that they've got going, so not recycling, just putting everything in the bin. So design and technology, there was also a few links there. So considering environmental sustainability when designing ideas, processes and solutions. So that's coming up with their promises or to kind of make something that can help address this issue. And considering criteria for success, which includes the environmental impact and social values and ethics. So when making something, is this going to be detrimental to the fish or to the environment as a whole? And then, of course, there's links to the arts, which we found communicate and represent ideas and information in contemporary ways, which we did through our installation and through our claymation. Gain a sense of curiosity and aesthetic knowledge and enjoyment. Apply and analyse elements, engage audiences and create meaning. So we, if children were going to create their own installations, how could they engage the rest of the community around them? And listen with purpose and interact with the art forms. So why we listen to whale noises, is that relevant in any way? And then seeing the links between. And then critical and creative thinking skills using visual arts, language, theories and practices to apply aesthetic judgment. So knowing what makes good art meaningful and being able to assess if it's a good piece or not, and being able to create a good piece as well. So there are many, many links that you can make to the curriculum. But overall, it was a really enjoyable experience that I had a lot of fun with, and the end result I thought was very good, and I really liked working with my group, obviously, and it was just a very great experience. So thank you so much for listening.